Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ansel Armstrong. We're back again here with another roster update prediction video where we're going to be looking at and talking about the players I think could be going silver to gold and gold to diamond that are a little bit under the radar as well. Of course, you know our focus here. You know how we go about it. We're all about making some stubs. Can't really make any subs if you're going after the guys that everyone assumes is going to be going diamond. Your Lance Lynn's of the world, Brandon Woodruff, Buster Posey, Flaherty, Shohei, cards of that nature. You won't see me mention in this video. It doesn't mean I don't think they're getting upgraded. I just don't think they have any room to increase in price after that roster update happens. We saw with the last roster update, Stanton and Bogarts actually dropped in price after going diamond. I was trying to warn people of that, and it did end up happening. The hype ended up being more worthwhile than the card going to diamond itself, because so many people had invested and so many people were holding out to go on diamond that at that point then they look to go through and sell. But we do have some under the radar guys that we're looking at, some guys that aren't super high in that price yet that maybe some people are overlooking. Of course, roster update is this Friday. Tuesdays and Wednesdays games, so the games happening today and tomorrow will still affect the roster update. Not a whole lot happening there. We had Lance Lynn start last night, and that was a big one to understand if he was going to go diamond or not. He was pretty dominant, so probably looking pretty solid there. Same with Brandon Woodruff. So could be some changes happen in the next 2 days, absolutely, but for the most part we are feeling pretty confident with what we have here for this week's roster update. As always, when the roster update and the content comes out on Friday, including Team Affinity, all that, we will be live on Twitch. You can catch the link in the description below or click right up here at the top of the video as well. That'll take you to the Twitch channel. We'll be live all day Friday for the most part, grinding it out, looking at the new roster update. So the first player we're looking at for this week's roster update, it's Max Muncy. Take a quick look at his prices. 1,800 stubs on the sell now. We see his trend. It has been going up. He's been a quick sell guy. You could have got him quick sell just a couple of days ago. 1,800 stubs now, but still obviously a lot of room to grow with that if he does go diamond. Taking a look at how he's playing so far this year, been one of the best players in baseball. A 292 batting average for a career 242 hitter. He hit 192 last year. And as we can see, he has decent ratings for his power. His fielding's okay, but a 59 and 51 on contact is really bringing him down. But of course, we can see he's hitting 292 this year with a 460 on base percentage. So he gets that boost to contact, which he is well deserving of. He could definitely get a +3 to his overall, and that would push him up into that diamond tier. And even more importantly, when we're looking at how he's hitting versus lefties, you can see that 51 contact left, 87 power left. That is where he really kind of lacks a little bit. He's batting 273 versus lefty this year and has 3 home runs, so he could even get a slight boost to that power versus lefties. That's only been in a handful, 62 plate appearances, so not a bad rate there, although 87 power is already pretty good. But batting 273, that's definitely worthwhile of an upgrade for his contact left. He's batting 300 versus righties in a pretty strong sample size, so that deserves a boost as well. He definitely seems like someone who can easily be getting up into the diamond tier, and at 1,800 stubs, there is a lot of room to grow for him in terms of value stub wise. Another player who I'm looking at getting an upgrade this week, Marcus Semien. Someone a lot of people I feel like overlooking. He does get a little overshadowed in that Blue Jays lineup, and he is just an 80 overall, so he definitely has quite a bit of a gap to make up to get that 85. But he has been playing incredible. When we look at how he's doing this year, 283 batting average for a career 256 hitter. So again, we're looking at someone who definitely is deserving of that contact upgrade. He has a WRC plus of 141. That's a career high. The only other year that it was even close for Semien as well, and this could impact his overall upgradability too, is in 2019 he put up 7.6 WAR. He was a star caliber player for Oakland at shortstop in 2019, and now he's essentially replicating that season here to some degree in 2021. So we're kind of learning that maybe that 7.6 WAR in a season, Marcus Semien, is who he actually is. And that player is definitely deserving of being a diamond. He's also at a career high for his isolated power, so he's hitting the ball much harder than he ever has been. 65 power right, 70 power left. Room to upgrade there. He already has 12 home runs in just 46 games. That's up towards the top of the league for home runs. He's definitely on pace to have the best season he's ever had. And again, when you look at his fielding, 78 fielding, the 52 arm hurts, but 78 fielding, that's going to do decent to pumping his overall up. As we can see, he's a silver defender in game, but his hitting is just the bronze. So a lot of room to upgrade on that hitting. He could be a guy who's 80 contact, 80 power somewhat across the board. And that player's getting up to diamond tier as well. And he's been exceptionally well versus righties this year. 64 contact right, 65 power right, but he's hitting 292 with 9 home runs already versus righties. So really seeing the ball well against righties. You see he's playing up with inside edge. That plus 15 only gets him to an 82, but if you can get some more boost in his contact and power versus left as well, that could give him just enough to get up to that diamond tier. And I definitely expect Semien to continue playing how he's playing. His max exit, his average exit velo of 90 miles an hour, well north of his career high, which was that 2019 season where he was 89 miles an hour, 44% hard hit percentage, 7.5% barrel percentage. He's seeing the ball really well. He's crushing the ball really well. And we're getting to the point of the season where we're kind of learning how these players are. We're getting past the fluke hot start area into, okay, this guy's actually just a really good baseball player. Two other guys we're going to talk about real quick that I've been hyping up for some time is Devers. His price is still right at quick sell. He's up to an 81. And he's still just doing his thing, playing incredibly well. One of the most underrated players in the league right now. I can definitely see him being due for some upgrades. The defense does hurt him. It does hold him back. But if he keeps up his pace, he's going to be in line for another 6+ WAR season. And I think at that point, he definitely starts to warrant some diamond recommendations. And as always, we can't go a week without talking about my boy Ozzy. If you didn't see the last roster update video, we did a more in-depth dive on Ozzy and why I think his numbers are very misleading on the surface. And he started to prove us right there because he's been absolutely crushing the ball this last week. Something like 3 homers in the last 4 games and 7-8 hits in the last 4 games. He's finally having some of that luck go his way. He even hit a home run versus a righty as well, which you can see only has 58 power right. Ozzy is starting to trend in a really good direction to finally get a little bit more luck on his side, as he's been one of the most unlucky players in the league so far. He's still crushing the ball. That Braves team's getting hot. He's in a well-protected lineup. I like Ozzy a lot. I've been pumping him a lot. He's starting to turn it around and prove those predictions right. Keep an eye on him over this next week. Now, the next one we're looking at here, we got to get one pitcher in. Kevin Gausman, just in 80, so a bit more of a long-term play, but he's been finally figuring out how to limit the home runs. And with that, he's become an extremely dominant pitcher, has helped be part of that Giants team that's surprising a lot of people right now. I like Kevin Gausman a lot. His peripheral numbers are good. Obviously, a 1.66 ERA is great. That doesn't inherently go into any attribute changes, but that's a good overall indicator. But his peripherals are also promising as well. He's still striking out people a ton, a 10.11 Ks per 9 with an 11.92 last year. That's definitely warranting more than a 64 Ks per 9. He's brought down his walks. He's brought down his home runs per 9 as well. I think if he keeps up this pace that he's been at, he will keep consistently continuing to get upgrades, and it will be the show. Now for our silver to gold upgrades. First off here, he's a little bit higher in price, but still room to go up. Probably one of the most underrated players in baseball right now. It's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. When you look at his rating, 60 contact, 38 and 40 power, not a whole lot happening there. His defense is pretty much the only reason he has a 78 overall. He has the diamond defense, but common hitting. However, this year he's currently batting 290 with a 114 WRC plus, 330 on base percentage, 435 slugging, isolated power at a career high by almost double. Take a look at the StatCast. His exit velo is north of a career high. Barrel percentage, hard hit percentage, all of these are career high. He's hitting the ball well. He's not hitting the ball incredible. There's much better hitters, but of course his ratings don't reflect a good hitter in the slightest. 62 contact, 38 power. That's going to be numbers that are well overdue for an upgrade. He's been playing incredibly well. His defense obviously props up his overall a ton, which provides us someone who has a ton of room to grow. I've talked about this some before, but in terms of upgrades, you have to have someone that has room to grow. So here, Kiner-Falefa, his hitting attributes have a ton of room to grow. If we look at someone like Castellanos, which I know a lot of people are hyping up to go diamond, I could certainly see it. I think it has some solid potential. There's some better examples, but that's just the first one off the top of my head. When you look at his attributes in game compared to how he plays IRL, he's certainly playing incredible right now, but his attributes already somewhat reflect that to a degree. He has not great defense on Castellanos, and he already has really good hitting attributes as well. So that makes it tougher to find that room to get those upgrades. The opposite of that here, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, hitting the ball well, already has the really high defense. He has a ton of room for those hitting stats to go up, and really the sky's the limit with his rating. I definitely think he's, I don't say lock often, but he's almost a lock to be going gold this week. Another guy I'm looking at may not be a gold this week, but has a ton of potential to go up. Again, talk about a guy who has some room to increase. His contact's pretty low. His power's okay, but he already has 10 homers this year. Really good isolated power numbers. When you look at his average, it doesn't look great. But we also have a guy who was really good in small sample sizes in both 2020 and 2019. And then when we kind of dig a little bit deeper into Kyle Tucker, we can see someone who's hitting the ball. Average exit velo of 91.7 has been crushing it. Barrel percentage at 10.8. Hard hit percentage at 48%. He has an expected batting average right now of 302. He's hitting 229, due in part to a 209 batting average on balls in play. But an expected batting average of 302 is incredibly high. That is going to come around similar to our Ozzy situation that we've been having. We've seen how he's gotten hot. Kyle Tucker's that similar way where the ball is just not really following his way right now. Let him get hot for a month, a couple weeks. Let the ball start dropping a little bit, and he's definitely move on up into the gold tier. And I think he could even sneak into being a diamond this year if he can get his average up and continue hitting for power, because he already has relatively good fielding stats. A lot of room for growth here with Kyle Tucker. 658 sell now right now. Not a bad play. Obviously, there's better investments out there in terms of return, but 400 to 500 stubs per card that you get a Kyle Tucker, that is a pretty solid investment right there. Now, speaking of someone with room for investment upside, 188 stubs on the sell now is Sandy Alcantara. He's been playing really, really well so far this year. You can see his lowest per 9 stat is a 56 on the Ks per 9, but he's currently rocking a 9.47 Ks per 9 so far this season. His walks are down as well. Homers are sub 1 per 9. He's been pitching relatively good. A 3.63 ERA is solid. It's not incredible, but when you look at the peripherals as well, it shows that he could even be pitching even better than that. Just 10 starts, already worth 1 WAR on the season. I think he's been a really solid player. And of course, a little bit on the younger side, 25. I see him continuing to play well, continuing to have solid starts. And at a 77, he doesn't need a ton to find his way up into that gold tier. More of a long-term hold here, 188 again on the sell now. So you can get them for really, really cheap. Buy up a ton of them. He puts the strings together, a couple good starts. I can see him getting that upgrade. Outside shot at getting it this week. If he gets that Ks per 9 and walks per 9 boost that he deserves to be more in line with his hits per 9, he's going to be a player that is finding his way into the gold category. Now, the last one we're looking at here, he's already found his way from bronze to silver. It's Ian Anderson, 183 on the sell now. A lot of room for upside there. He's a 76. It's a little bit more of a long-term play again, but Ian Anderson pitched really well last year, has come out the gate again pitching well this year. He's just 22, so he doesn't really have that track record of being X, Y, or Z pitcher. We're kind of learning who Ian Anderson is as he's performing this year, and what we're seeing is a pitcher who is really, really good with a lot of upside, and it's looking like they're going to have a really good career for Atlanta so far, but he's pitching really well this year. Walks per 9 are down a little bit from his 2020 campaign and from how he walked in the minor leagues, and that's obviously his biggest downfall right now. Ks per 9, 9.35, almost a 10 Ks per 9, closing in on that. He can definitely get upgrades on both of those. Pretty similar pitcher to Alcantara, who we just looked at. They both probably need some upgrades on their Ks per 9 and walks per 9 to get to gold, but with how they're playing so far this year, I think it's easily doable that they can get that. Ian Anderson rocking the 2.82 ERA in just 9 starts, 51 innings pitched. That is a pretty solid sample size right there. And he's a young pitcher, so probably a bit more willingness to upgrade him rather quickly. It's not as if he's a veteran who has a track record of being a 76 overall caliber pitcher. We're kind of learning about Ian as we go. He started the season as bronze, already worked up to silver. I think he's reaching gold by the end of it as well. At a 183 sell now, lots of room for upgrade, lots of room for stub making potential there. You want to talk about return on your investment? That's a return on your investment right there. So that's what I'm working with for roster updates this week. A solid pool of gold players and silver players I think have some immediate upside, immediate upgrade potential, and some long-term potential as well. Of course, you know, we're always looking to make some stubs off these roster updates. So some guys going to be a little bit more long-term plays, but I think there's a lot of good plays out there, especially with the current prices of silvers and golds after the content over the last week or so. Low prices for a lot of those. So good time to get in on those cards, especially with the headliner packs dropping as well. They'll be live by the time you're watching this video. That can even bring some of the prices of golds and silvers down very quickly, even more so. So good idea to come in. Tuesday's a great day to pick up cards for the roster update. As always, let me know who you think's getting a roster update. Who have I missed? Who am I overlooking? Who am I not talking about? Let's talk about them down in the comment section below. My favorite part of these videos, getting to chat with y'all about baseball, about players, about who's doing well, who on your favorite teams being overlooked right now. As always, if you enjoyed this video, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Huge thank you to all you for 15,000 subscribers on the channel. Just felt like we hit 10K the other day. Hey, push for a little 25K happening this year. We'll see what happens. We'll see what we can do. Until next time, though, I'll catch y'all around.